Well, welcome to week 3 of ITA 341. And I want to begin this week with a little illustration. Now, we're talking about the Canada-US-Mexico agreement. And we're talking about free trade agreements in general in this course, but we're going to be focusing on the CUSMA. Now, the CUSMA is a replacement for the North American Free Trade Agreement. Now, the North American Free Trade Agreement obviously covered North America. It was signed in the 1990s. Now, before the North American Free Trade Agreement existed, the only 3 automobile manufacturers in North America were Chrysler, Ford, and General Motors. If you bought a Honda, or if you bought a Nissan, or if you bought a Toyota, or a BMW, or a Mercedes, or a Volkswagen, they were all made in Europe or in Asia, and they were shipped over here on ships. Now, when they imported those cars, they had to pay 6.1% duty if they imported them into Canada, and they had to pay duty if they imported them into the United States, and duty if they imported them into Mexico. But a funny thing happened. All of a sudden, after the North American Free Trade Agreement came on board, if you made something in the United States and you shipped it to Canada, it was duty-free. If you made something in Mexico and shipped it to the United States, it was duty-free. If you made something in Canada and shipped it to Mexico, it was duty-free. And the automobile manufacturers thought, hang on a second. If we build plants in North America instead of Japan, instead of Europe, I should say in addition to Japan, in addition to Europe, we can make automobiles in North America, and they'll be duty-free when we ship them anywhere in North America. So these are the North American foreign, when I mean foreign, they're non-North American makes in North America since North American Free Trade Agreement was signed. So pre-1994, this was the number of plants. After 94, this is the number of plants. So because of the North American Free Trade Agreement, because of a free trade agreement, Toyota, Honda, Nissan, Subaru, Mazda, instead of making cars in Japan, they built plants in North America. Okay, Honda has a plant in Canada, United States, as well as, Canada and United States. Nissan has plants, Toyota has plants in all 3 countries. And if they make a car or an auto or a truck here in North America, when you ship it to the other 2 countries, there's no duty involved. You're paying 6.1% duty. Now, Volkswagen, BMW, Hyundai, Kia, Mercedes-Benz, same thing. The first 2 are German, and these 2 are Korean, and Mercedes-Benz is of course German. They built plants in North America as well. Now, because they built those plants in North America, the car qualifies as being North American, and therefore when you ship it to any other country, it's duty-free. Now, the other thing that comes from this is each one of these plants relies on many feeder plants of parts and materials to make the cars at the final assembly plant. Because in order to have a car qualify as being North American, most of the parts, most of the materials have to be North American. So not only do they manufacture cars here, they have to manufacture and buy the materials in North America as well. So that caused even more. Each one of these plants could have 10, 25 different plants attached to it supplying the materials. So each star can have another 25 plants or so, maybe less, maybe more, supplying those companies, those assembly plants with materials. So this is the benefit of a free trade agreement. Now, part of the benefit here is there's geography. You just put the cars on a truck You make them in the United States and you ship them to Mexico or ship them to Canada. All you need is a truck or a train. But this is an illustration to show you that even though these companies are not North American, the North American Free Trade Agreement, this free trade agreement benefited them, but it also benefited North America because of all the jobs that these plants have created because of these plants are now in North America as opposed to overseas. As a matter of fact, Mexico, their number one export product is automobiles. Ford, Chrysler, Toyota, General Motors all have plants in Mexico. So their number one export is automobiles. So this is just an illustration to show you what the benefits can be from a free trade agreement.